Up first this evening, 4 people are dead while 3 others remain in hospital following a 2-vehicle crash along the Falmouth bypass in Trelawney this morning. Firefighters and the police were on location for hours trying to remove 2 of the injured passengers who were trapped inside the wrecked motorcar. TVJ's Shamela Pullen has more.
Horrific. Minutes after 10 Sunday morning. The evidence of a deadly crash. Debris scattered at some sections of the Falmouth bypass in Trelawney. According to reports, it all unfolded when a Nissan March motor car and a Toyota Coaster bus traveling in the opposite direction collided at the Danieltown intersection. 5 people were in the car, 4 died. The other person is in hospital battling for life. The driver of the bus as well as the other occupant in that bus were also rushed to hospital. Meanwhile, a man who was at the scene and identified himself as Ricardo Falconer says he knows the occupants in the car quite well.
Yeah, man, I know them good man. Brother-in-law, them man. 2 of them in there, my friend. And the girl, I'm friend same here. My brother-in-law girlfriend, you know.
So they were coming from Portland to go to what, airport?
Airport, yeah, Moby if you come and then come at the east side, come give me a check.
Oh, so they were going to drop off the young lady first?
Yeah, and then come to me.
The police have identified 3 of the 4 deceased. They are Omroy Russell, 22-year-old Everton James, and 24-year-old Dayton McCleary, all from Portland addresses. Mr. Falconer told TVJ News that family members are distraught.
Poor morning up there. They even call me right now, I can't answer them to tell them nothing what go on. I know they'll be a fainting and them things that they go on up there. But this man here nearly dropped down same way. Fling me on my phone and them things there.
Meanwhile, the Falmouth police are continuing their investigations into the crash. But while they do that, one Falmouth resident points to a number of issues that could have contributed to the crash, including problems with the road surface. He claims the road is too slippery.
Yes, so they need to mark up here and make the road can have some grit on it. You understand?
So what about traffic light?
Eh?
What about the traffic
light?
Yeah,
traffic light, when they put out, they say it's good still. It's good, but we don't want more light. We don't still want more light. If you cut down some of my speed, and you want 1 out there, so you want 1 out of 8 there, so, and you want 1 more out of the cross, so you go. Gussin water.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
Welcome back. Continuing the news. Days after the Auditor General reported insufficient oversight for the Jamaica Library Service, as well as poor governance issues, our news team has been made aware of at least 1 library where employees are struggling with their working conditions. TVJ's Anthony Lugg explains.
Help. Just one of the words on this grill outside the St. James Parish Library on Tuesday morning. The workers closed the doors and used these placards to show their frustration at the conditions they've been working under for the last week. When we visited the area, workers were tight-lipped. However, it was clear that not much work could be done because there was no electricity. It's understood that it's been this way since Saturday. Someone lit the garbage on the compound, which resulted in the damage to several wires. But electricity isn't the only thing they've been without. Water is also an issue. And so, water is trucked to the premises. On the inside, more concerns. Mold on the walls. And when it rains, it pours. These newspapers are used as covers. Security is also an issue. Workers are fearful, so much that in recent weeks, members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force have been providing assistance. It's understood that, among other things, workers have been threatened by students. The findings come days after a damning report from the Auditor General, which uncovered breaches under the Jamaica Library Services. The AG revealed that the Board of Directors failed to convene regular meetings to review the performance and set the strategic direction of JLS, which indicates a major deficiency in its governance processes. The AG added that the government of Jamaica provided $128 million in the 2019 to 2020 supplementary estimates for the upgrading of public libraries and to purchase books. However, JLS has not developed and implemented a structure plan for this upgrading program. Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
Port Royal and Kingston was abuzz with activity as Jamaica welcomed the first cruise line to berth in Port Royal. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the Member of Parliament for East Kingston, Mr. Philip Paulwell, were among the dignitaries at the terminal. TVJ's Kirk Wright has the details.
A first in recent history, a cruise liner arriving in Port Royal. Head of State Prime Minister Andrew Holness, flanked by other dignitaries, were there to see the first set of visitors disembark.
When we heard that we'd be the first ship into the cruise terminal, we just thought, wow, this is amazing. And when we arrived and we saw the excitement, and we could see the excitement of the people around, that's fantastic. It's a lovely feeling.
The terminal in Port Royal is newly built and bears obvious signs of being incomplete, but the visitors were more focused on what the terminal signifies.
The building's not finished yet, the roof's not finished, but it doesn't matter. It's open for business, and that's what you want. You want to be open for business. So.
The Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett commented on the technology used at the port, which enables the visitors to leave the ship without it having to dock at the side of the port. He says the new terminal is a valuable addition to Jamaica's tourism product.
Because this is a game changer, not just for Port Royal, but for Kingston and for Jamaica's economy.
From Port Royal, the visitors were taken to specific locations. The Bob Marley Culture Yard in Trenchtown included.
Saw where Bob Marley was, obviously he lived in his later life and that, and all the influences he had on the Trenchtown itself. So it was really interesting. Plus we had a reggae band there. Very, very good. Got all the crowd going. Yeah, it was really good.
Several groups were taken to the Emancipation Park in St. Andrew. Now the visitors, some of whom are coming to Jamaica for the very first time, actually got a taste of the Jamaican culture from the TVJ dance group and the Manchineel cultural group here at Emancipation Park. The Jamaican culture was on show and the entertainers were on point. The visitors soaked up as much as they could in the little time they had.
The culture is fantastic and the people I've met so far are so friendly, so it's a pleasure being here.
I'm interested in the history of Jamaica, slavery, and then the struggle for emancipation, and then finally breaking free from us, because why should we have been in charge?
Oh, I'm looking forward to going to the Blue Mountain Range and tasting your fantastic coffee.
And I asked, who is a first-time visitor, if the first impression will encourage him to return.
Above the other ones, yes. I think so far you're moving in the right direction, definitely. Because obviously with the Port Royal this morning, everyone was out and it was really quite humbling, you know.
Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Up first this evening, more shocking revelations from the Auditor General's report on the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU. From unverifiable withdrawals from CMU accounts amounting to over $70,000 to over $2 million deposited to off-the-books accounts. TVJ's Kelisha Williams has the details of a leaked copy of the 80-page report.
Section 418 of the report said the CMU withdrew $70,333 classified as per diem and stipend for 10 persons who were not employed to the institution. While the auditing team said it saw instructions for the payments to be made, there were no bills to verify them. Based on the documentation provided to the auditors, part of the money, $3,535, was used to fund the CMU business trip for the owner of a logistics company, who was identified as a PhD student at CMU. However, approval for official travel for the owner of the logistics company was not granted by Cabinet, whereas Cabinet gave other persons traveling to the same seminar the green light on November 1, 2018. Again, there were no supporting documents, invoices, bills, or receipts to validate any of the payments. Even more intriguing, the review of the institution's bank statements found over $612 million Jamaican dollars that was deposited to accounts over a 3-year period. However, only $345 million passed through the school's main account. The remaining $268 million was deposited directly to accounts that were not written in the books. The deposits were related to funds received from the Education Ministry, Hard Trust NTA, tuition fees, canteen sales, and customer deposits. Other financial breaches related to accounts referred to as canteen. However, 2 of the canteen accounts were used for other purposes totaling 129 million Jamaican dollars. For example, payments to 7 parties connected to sacked Minister of Education Ruel Reid and an independent contractor. Among them, 87 payments totaling $30 million with the description salary for varying months. However, the supporting documents show that the payments were actually made for consultancy services, courier services, close protection services, and lunches provided under the CAP Yes program. Also, payments totaling $600,000 from March 2018 to February 2019 to an individual for social media monitoring, although the school already had a digital marketing officer to do the same job. The team also picked up that an advisor to former Minister Ruel Reid was paid $100,000 by the CMU in 2018, but there were no supporting documents to explain the services that were actually provided. The full report is expected to be tabled in the House of Representatives at its next sitting. Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
Councillors in St. Catherine are calling for the lockup at the Spanish Town Police Station to be closed as it has become overrun by rats and roaches. The declaration was made at a recent meeting of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation's Health and Sanitation Committee. TVJ's Kalisha Williams reports.
The rats and roaches were not present for our camera to see when we visited the Spanish Town lockup in St. Catherine recently. These holes, which lead into the lockup, are believed to have been dug by the rodents to gain access to the facility. This picture sent to our newsroom was snapped as one of the rats made a brazen daylight entry.
Not because they are prisoners. When they are there, it is mere an allegation. They have not yet been tried and found guilty. So it's an allegation that is perfect against them. So we ought to treat them better.
We were told the rats and roaches have been plaguing the police and inmates at the facility for some time now.
Persons has been admitted to the Spanish Town General Hospital that are bitten by rodents. It's a national disgrace. Bitten by rodents. Policemen are sick, has to be treated elsewhere. You can understand police are going to jailhouse and get sick and have to go to doctor and spend them hard-earned money.
And what made the councillors most upset was that public health inspectors visited the lockup and noticed the health hazard but did not report the matter to the municipal corporation.
We have no problem in furnishing the council with the reports. At the next meeting, I could take the reports or maybe forward it electronically.
The agencies need to do their work, and where there is situation like this, need to be remedied and deal with instantaneously.
But chairman for the Health and Sanitation Committee, Sidney Rose, simply wants the facility to be closed.
I think the ultimate remedy is to order that place closed until the necessary things are done. Closed, Inspector. It's unfortunate, unfair.
Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.